Greetings everyone, please give me a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Looks like YouTube is going. Rumble is going. Oh, YouTube really bugged out there. YouTube, the live stream sort of bugged out. It looks like this. What on earth happened here? What? Ugh, that is ugly. Let me refresh the page and see what it looks like. Yep, now it's normal. It really bugged out there, didn't it? Looks like everything's good to go. Am I also thinking, yeah, need to activate the live chat windows? And looks like everything should be booting up relatively soon. There we go. And let me double check my other computer. And looks like everything's good to go. Double check my mic. Been having issues where my mic's not been on. But looks like it's going good. So let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the north side as the Red Gauge, we got Jean Bat 13 YT. On the south side as Yellow Davis, we got Bench Warmer. Do note the Days of Ruin, the Tiny Wars site has effectively gone through a reset. I think it was an unplanned reset, let's just simply put. And so there's a very slim picking of replays. So right now I had found a couple good replays, but it's also going to be a little on the shorter side, so I can't say how well everything's going to go. By the way, let's go ahead and get started. Probably should mention what the COs are. Blah, it's also been a bit of time since I should cast because due to how long it's been down. Looks like Gauge still buff from the cartridge counterparts. Standard boarding cost 2 radius 30 60 60. Is using his more up-to-date stats. I remember some variations where it does like a 4th line that's only has 3 lines, so all units in CO zone gets plus 10, plus 20, indirect units get additional plus 20% offense, and the CO unit himself gets plus 20% offense. Of course, applies all that globally, and of course plus 2 maximum range. Davis, of course, is technically a custom CO in Tiny Wars. Standard boarding cost 1 radius 25.60 for the expansion, so a little bit of discount for the initial expansion. And 60 for the CO power. All units get plus 10 plus 10. Ground units in CO zone get additional plus 30% defense. And of course, for superpower, all units get plus 40% offense. Do note this also means does not get any of these effects here. Just this. So, gets at first he's the annual, then becomes a hammer. Either way, let's get started. Do have. Oh yeah, looks like that music's still the same as well. Unusually heavy metal for the defense CO guy who's generally not necessarily portrayed as a strong CO and not as a coward, just one that's a bit more scared, if that makes any sense. He's portrayed as a weaker CO. I suppose technically he's the same team as Greyfield and Will, and they have pretty good evil soundtracks, so he needs the evil soundtrack, right? Either way, this map is a 3-base map. 1 pair of seaports, 1 pair of airports. Actually, there's actually 2 seaports. Though, like, it's not going to be useful. It is meant for simply for a lander, but probably a teacup is better in that situation. You can go for a gunboat, but that's about it. Yes and no. Tiny Wars is back online. Everything seems to be back online, as far as I can see. All the players had their rankings reset, and I have a very slim picking of replays to choose from. So I'm not sure how long this stream will be going on. I found 2 I think it'll be decent, and then I found 2 I think are a little bit low ranking that have decent lengths. It's the best I can do right now. Gotta wait until as the days start passing by. Days of Ruin? No, that was a horrible joke. In order to getting a bit more larger stock of replays. I was half thinking not to cast today due to lower stock of replays, but I figured, might as well just get back started. Max artillery and infantry. Over here, looks like just infantry. Of course, got a couple bikes in the field. He does have 12,000. Goes for a tank. Maybe CO to take. The CO unit gets plus 20% offense, so loading himself in tank is still a good option. Oh yeah, Davis's radius is actually pretty small. Got a battlecopter. And we do have a bike there. Granted, infantry units in this radius does get plus 40% defense, which is quite significant. The CO unit is taking a pounding. 20 energy, so just needs 5 more energy, then he gets his own plus 1 CO zone. Which looks like in the defensive more style actually does matter quite a bit, because once you get plus 1 expansion, 2 radius is significantly much better than 1 radius. You have a battlecopter who, of course, is not ground unit, so it gets a passive plus 10/+10. I know a lot of user-created maps effectively got deleted when the server got... I can't remember what it was. It was something that was an unplanned reset. And that's probably the best way to describe it. Let's see now. Does interrupt the capture, tank, artillery, and bike. Yes, of course, sealed the tank there. The tank right now on the plains or road has plus 50, plus 40 total. Not to mention plus 5 the comm tower. So I just skip that, mentioning that because both players get a comm tower. Battlecopter, infantry. Good shot there. Also got that unit there. Does take out a sudden health infantry unit. Good shot there. Battlecopter, artillery, infantry, and commits a base skip. Pushes his way forward, getting good amount of CO power charge. Good damage there. Mech takes a shot against the bike rather than the command tank. That's interesting. Maybe trying to avoid giving him plus 1 radius. Can't, like I mentioned beforehand, can't say how long the stream will last. My pickings of replay is relatively slim. Tank does get a good shot down the mech. Finish that one off. Hits the command bike. Oh, deleted the recon. Davis is at a CO power charge, and the bike survived with 1% health. Oof, that must have been some bad luck there. Battlecopter, bike, and mech. Davis can pull back and get plus poison firepower and a lot of stuff in range. Why did he sack his seal unit? Like, at that point in time, just use the seal power. You even lose a plus 10, plus 40, even if he didn't use it. Why did he delete it? He had a seal power. Was it because he think his opponent got gypped because there was 1% HP left? It was just trying to be a good sport. It's like, yeah, you should have got that. Was it some sort of good sportsman play? That's the best explanation I can give. Duster. Both CO units have gone down. Battlecopter gets a good shot there on the tank. Finish off the bike there. Right now, Davis at 91,053. It's going very much in favor of Davis. Battlecopter hits Battlecopter. Hits the bike there, or the mech there. Duster, infantry, or no, that was tank, anti-air, and mech. He did seal the Duster, which does not affect by his own defense aura. So he just gets a basic +10/+10 from zone CO zone. Good shots there onto the artillery. Davis right now is in a commanding position. Tank, bike, and infantry. Good shot there. Does sack the battlecopter to hit the battlecopter. Sends a bike in that same battlecopter. Get some shots on the outline. He also does hit the bike there, hits the infantry unit. CO tank is taking a beating, hits the anti-air. Gage only at 14 energy. Dave's at 38. So almost getting pretty good. Power charge right now. Tank battlecopter. Recon. Got a bit of a human mechapede looks like being formed up here. But he's hitting infantry and bikes, which is not great. So human mechapede is probably a bad idea over that direction. Let's take the battlecopter. CO or tank does get on top of the HQ. Finish off the outlying infantry unit there. 27 energy. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Anti-air does go down, hits the bike. CO tank does go down. You can CO this tank there. Davis has now superpower available. You can also try CO and tank over here. Battlecopter, infantry, and tank. Get some good shots there. Does not take out the Duster, of course. Tank, and bike. Good shot there. Multiple hits. Artillery actually starting to get low on ammo. Mech sacks itself there. Takes out the CO tank. Duster hits battlecopter. Gets the mech up north. And starting to capture those properties up here as well. Davis, actually, Gage has been having much higher income, 23,000 versus 19, so Davis has been doing quite well with a lot less units, or a lot less properties. Good shot there. Hits the anti-air. Duster, tank, and infantry. And commits another base skip. Pops the superpower, plus 40% firepower global. Does take out those units there. Oh, it looks like it's the hero sound of CO power. But he's on the Team Greyfield, right? Shouldn't he have the bad guy sound theme? Anti-air tank. Greatly equalizer properties. 21 versus 22. Oh wait, oh god, these properties in the corner are still despicably neutral. I just realized that. Somehow those properties in the corner have never been touched. Another tank, artillery, and bike. True. But Wayland and Greyfield have the evil sound effects. Blocks the airport up here. Another duster by Davis. Probably could start sending some more infantry over here. It's effectively cleaned up. The scout tank there. Other 45 energy. Recon's down to 5% health. Goes for tank, recon, and tank. Does join there, very nice. Joins there as well. It's at 31,000, so maybe a bomber would be very nice. Looks like the recon's trapped as well as the tank gets trapped. Bomber, tank, bike, and infantry. Takes out a couple more units there. Duster, infantry, tank. Getting some good shots there. That +1 radius is actually being very useful for Davis. Or the, not +1 radius, the cheaper radius. Anti-air T-copter and infantry. Pops the superpower, getting +2 range with his indirects, very nice. Making a pretty good counterattack here. Duster hits the CO unit. Duster hits CO unit, knocking out Davis' CO unit. Paul should target that first to reduce the radius or the effect of the CO zone. War tank now deployed in the field. But of course, got a bomber nearby. He does have 2 dusters though. CO's the anti-air. Probably take a good shot. Yep, not hits that duster quite well. It's that tank. Hits that recon. A lot of hits there on the various tanks. And that duster does get trapped there. Could be set free. Recon needs to be pulled out and probably the artillery. Needs a full health duster to hit the bomb, and the gauge player does back of the game now. This is Angrade saying, keep watching, and on to next replay. Let's see now. Next one I have is replay number 8. It's a big map, but hopefully it's good enough. Greetings everyone, Angrade here with another Advanced Wars by Web, not Advanced by Web, Days of Ruin, Tiny Wars, replay. Spawn on the south side is the red Greyfield. We got Benchwarmer. Spawn on top right side is the blue Cyrus. We got Meat. With the server reset, let's see, is Greyfield still the same after the server reset? Reduced boarding cost, 3 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 10, plus 10. Naval sea units and battlecrafts get plus 10, plus 40% offense. Rolling plus 50% defense for those units is plus 20% offense. And of course, with superpower, of course, provides a plus 10 global, recovers all fuel, ammo, and material. Very nice. Navy units, seaplanes, battlecrafts get plus 10, plus 40. Temporary ports and temporary seaports can now deploy unweighted units. Yep, that is still the same. Cyrus is, of course, a custom CEO in Tiny Wars. Standard boarding cost, 3 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 15, plus 15. All units get plus 15, plus 15. Reverse a CEO back to unlevel status. You may board your CEO into any unweighted unit for no boarding cost, and you get a weak missile style to fire at any location of your choosing. So let's get started. This map is a large map. I see 3 bases. We got a sea point with blue access to blue water. And yet there's going to be plenty of blue water over here. There is one tile bridge on beach, but the bridge on sea here will allow the naval units to traverse that direction. Oops, sorry, I hit my microphone. Got a couple bikes there. Both players do start with a lander. This map is quite large with a good number of properties. No high funds, just gonna be capture up a lot of terrain. Just a single unit that turn, and that was just a regular tank, saving 5,000 monies there. And Greyfield loads himself into a tank. I don't know if that's a great idea. It's really hard for me to say. This map is massive, and getting a CO tank will allow him to push forward pretty quickly and start getting power charge. That's probably what he's trying to do. He's just trying to rush out power charge. Cyrus does CO a tank as well. Has 12,000 in bank right now. Artillery infantry and commits another base skip. Got a mech now pulling the field by Greyfield, ready to be loaded from that lander. Also another artillery down south. Now more look at it, this lander has no seaport in order to resupply. Oh no, there's one right here. This side has no naval yard or seaport for this player to use, nor right here. So if Greyfield wants any sort of fleet assets, he will need to pull out a temporary seaport and then CO power some deployments. So this map is not really a hybrid map when it comes. There's not really naval on naval combat, only naval support. I don't know how to describe it. I have no idea how this map's going to play out, honestly. It's quite large as well. So if Greyfield's able to pull out a submerged submarine in this area, that could be very nice. It's hard to say how it's going to go. This command tank is on the center of the map. This one is not in range of artillery, but it can easily back on off. Which clearly means to charge forward and be reckless, right? Good shot there, interrupts the capture. Oh, there's also... never mind. More battle copters by Greyfield. Tank and infantry. Right now, Cyrus does have 23,000 income, which is 21,000. Greyfield catching this properly soon. Do you have this infantry load up inside of this rig? Another tank there, so this is going to funnel in 2 tanks up north, as well as some battle copters. Looks like Greyfield's pushing pretty hard up north. Cyrus has a good number of assets here, as well as counterpart. Of course, he does have a battleship, which with a seal power, he could reload himself to a battleship. So far, Blue is taking a couple early victories when it comes to combat, but that's about it. A full fighter? I don't think a full fighter is actually a good idea. I think it also would be a much cheaper option right now. Sure, a fighter would be far more agile, and this map is quite large, but even an aircraft carrier could be a good alternative. Just get some proxy seaplanes would also do the same role against the battlecopters. I don't think a fighter was a good idea. Good shots up north. Greyfield's on 37 energy. Needs to get that rig pushed forward and start pulling out a temporary airport or seaport. Got an artillery, rocket, and infantry. Don't know if a rocket would be useful. This map is far too large for a rocket. Granted, it can't be pushed forward with a lander, but still. Got a medium tank. Good core tanks over here. Artillery's out of range. He may just need to put some infantry in and block the advance for now. Would be donating a decent amount of energy to Cyrus, though. Good shot there. Got anti-tank, battlecopter, infantry, and recon. Anti-tanks, I suppose right now, and he needs defense this region. That's what's going for anti-tank, but I think it's still too slow for seeing how large this map is. Not to mention the battleship. The battleship will be in range this turn. Hits the artillery there. And he's pushing down south. We're gonna load up with a pair of infantries. Mech does get a shot there on the artillery, knocking out a decent chunk of its health. And looks like the Greyfield does have enough for his superpower. but I can't say it would be anything useful right now. His rig is up here. He needs to perhaps pull back, build something. Resupply some units. You have another fighter down south. It's the battlecopter there. Pops superpower. Puts a missile in the middle of this formation. Does reseal the battleship. Get some good shots there. And got tank, and missile. The missile knows where it's at, or knows where it's not. And here to strike the fighter. Fighter does not take out the fighter. Duster, tank, and infantry. Does strike the anti-tank for a severe amount of damage. Hits the artillery. Fighter does fall back, no temporary port. He does partially start as temporary seaport, decides to unload the infantry unit instead. Another medium tank. Feels like Cyrus is in a pretty good position right now. So let's take out infantry unit there with the Duster. Good shots there. Infantry, bike, and T-copter. It's another anti-air. Hits the anti-air, knocks it out. The command tank has some damage there. It goes in range of the rocket, so the rocket and artillery get good shots on these medium tanks. That may not have been a great move. Reg is still here. Still has not built his temporary airport, which probably would have been very useful by now. Fighter, tank. Hits the medium tanks twice. Does not take out that medium tank up there. Fighter does fall back a little bit. For some properties right now, Cyrus has 29,000. Grayfield has 27,000. Got an aircraft carrier now by Grayfield. Takes off a good number of units down south. Not much left down south as well. Does join the two medium tanks together. Looks like overall Cyrus did overextend on the northern flank. Those doesn't seem to work with. Fighters do join together and now has two full fighters on the field. Go for another battleship. Does produce a seaplane. And builds a temporary port in the center of the map. Probably need to keep a CO unit alive. And they could go for some ambush spawn units. An ambush spawn bomber could be quite nice down south. Or seaplanes in general, they'll have to keep the rig nearby. It's a rock a couple times, it'll be repaired up to 7 health next turn. So engineer down south takes a recon, joins there. There's a 50% chance Greyfield will launch CO power next turn. Right now with 24,000 income after repairs, he's at 17, so he has enough for one ambush spawn seaplane. Does not pop a superpower. Goes for another seaplane. Pops another superpower there. Fighter takes out the fighter. Gets the rocket there. Hits the artillery. Hits the seaplane for a good amount of damage. Medium tank bomber, tank and infantry. He did CO the other battleship now. Pops a superpower. 17,000 funds can get one ambush seaplane. With some joining, maybe 2 ambush battlecopters. Goes for a battlecopter. It's CO battleship. Hits the fighter, so no more ambush spawn units. It also hit the fighter. Anti-air hits fighter. Seaplane hits medium tank. Decides to go for more of the regular tanks. Surrounds the fighter, 1 health fighter. And this seaplane's probably... No, he got a resupply from the superpower. Tank infantry. Hits the battlecopter. Sacks the fighter, getting what pathetic damage it could. Also drained a little bit of ammo on that wounded seaplane. Wounded seaplane probably head back to the aircraft carrier. Hits the battleship. Battleships are slowly going down. Does not take on the fighter there. Down on 1 ammo and 4% health. Pulls back the wounded seaplane. Medium tank does take out infantry. Infantry hits capturing infantry. Fighter head down south. Bomber nukes a infantry unit there. Takes out the tank there with the battleship. The 2 battleships just joined together, so now Cyrus has a staggering 42,000 in his bank. Maybe triple medium tanks could be a good way to go. Fighter, medium tank, and commits a base skip. Cyrus has a far superior income, 32 versus 24. Though the value between 2 players is not too terrible with that huge difference. seaplane gets resupplied by a rig, rigging the game. Of course, we do have an aircraft in here, a 7 health seaplane. Anti-tank infantry and regular tank. Takes a CO tank there. Bomber strikes the aircraft carrier, leaving it 9% health. So, wasn't one shot, but that aircraft carrier is hurting really bad. Of course, the aircraft carrier does have an anti-aircraft gun, so the bomber took 3% damage. 1% more damage than 2% milk. Some rounds there. It's probably a good idea not to repair the aircraft carrier, but use it very, very sparingly. Gotta make sure it can't be struck whatsoever. Still be very useful for the resupply point, but it's probably a good idea not to repair it because they're not cheap. Current aircraft carriers do cost 20,000, so they're quite expensive. Maybe a little too expensive, honestly. Whenever I see an aircraft carrier in the field, players do really well with aircraft carriers, even though they seem pretty overpriced, honestly, because you still have to pay 15,000 for a seaplane. I usually see the aircraft carrier provides so much momentum. It's hard to describe if 20,000 is an adequate cost price for it, or is it too expensive? Because honestly, it feels like it's too expensive. If I were to assign a cost of it right now, probably 20,000. Both seaplanes got struck, leaving a healthy seaplane right here. There's of course some anti-airs nearby to help hit those fighters. Takes the anti-air there. Is the fighter there. Both those wounded guys go back. Can't even let a regular tank take a shot at it. Lander in the way of the aircraft carrier now. Battleship slowly being dealt with. Artillery, battlecopter, tank and bike. Joins the fighters together. Got a rocket. Anti-tank in range of a pair of tanks. So the anti-tank's actually going to do its job. Seaplane here running low on fuel. It has 6 fuel remaining, so next turn needs to go to this temporary airport or also get shot down. I remember correctly, the seaplanes consume 5 fuel per turn, right? Like most jets or planes. So it should have only 1 fuel next turn, and we'll need to use that 1 fuel to go 1 tile south. No, there's a rig there. Never mind. Rig is rigging the game. Bike, battlecopter, and a third bike. Fighter does take out the battlecopter. Battleship hits the infantry. Got another bomber, tank, anti-air, and artillery. Fires with 6 and 7 health. 15,000 funds in the bank. The repairs of the seaplanes are eating quite a bit. Seaplane strikes the battleship, and no counter. There's been no real naval counter down south for blue. Not naval counter, air counter for blue down south for quite some time. The battlecopters and the now seaplanes getting some good work done hitting that battleship. It's the anti-air. joins the two medium tanks together. Medium tank, battleship, infantry, and infantry. Another bike deployed in the field. Artillery and tank pushing forward, likely to be loaded up in the lander next turn. Oh, and Cyrus has resigned. Great comeback by Greyfield. Overall, it seemed like Cyrus had a better hand for the entire game, but Greyfield just held on and did great work. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Well, I have two more potential replays, though I don't think these are going to be too particularly great because I don't recognize these names in general. So, either way, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, Angrade here with another Advanced Wars Daisy Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the left side as the red Snowwind, we've got Jane of Raycups, which I think is some sort of weird backwards of Rain Jacobs, whatever that name means either. Spawn on the south or right side as the blue Forsyth, we got Ope, 3, 2, 1. Either way, when it comes to Snowwind, she's of course a custom CO in Tiny Wars, standard boarding cost 1 radius, 30, 60, 60. She's like what I refer to call as the Paratrooper CO. Unlimited units around her CO unit or in her CO zone gets 1 health recovery and also recover ammo and fuel. Bit of air resupply if you will. Air units get plus 30, like I said, Paratrooper, so air units. And your first infantry or mech unit can be forward deployed around your CO unit. Effectively, paratrooping, shooting in. Paratrooper Specialist, Airborne. Of course, she has both a power and superpower, both cost the same amount, so to choose one situation. You get the 1 health, ammo, fuel, and recovery, you got the 34 air units, and you get fire a black bomb to any location. Or launch a black bomb with greatest accumulation of units value, so fire a black bomb anywhere on the map. And of course, for her other superpower is the 1 health recovery, 30-30, and able to forward deployed all air and ground units to her location. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. This map is a I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. This map is a 2-base map with 2 comm towers, both of them generally not contestable. And wait, did she buy a recon at the start of last turn? Okay, this is hyper aggressive. Goes for recon, seals it, and forward deploys the infantry unit there. I have no idea how that's going to go. Do have a recon by for Sith, does commit and base skip himself. Forward deploys the infantry unit outside her opponent's base. And Forsyth gets a first strike there. Manages a one-shot as well, with a CO unit and plus 20, plus 20, plus 20. Oh, I forgot to mention Forsyth's, he's unchanged for the cartridge counterpart, standard boarding cost 5 radius, and provides all units plus 20, plus 20. Forward deploys a mech there, but there's already the Forsyth recon nearby. Yeah, that's just throwing units away. Too aggressive. Comm towers obtained. Mech there. I think the recon can reach it. Nope, the recon can't range it because of the wastelands. But the infantry unit that captures the comm tower got a first strike onto it. It's not going well for Snowwind right now. She has 6,000 income versus 8,000 income. 21,000 versus 11,000. She needs to hit the brakes a little bit. Did forward deploy mech there, and this time in camouflage. Oh, looks like Forsyth lost the coin flip there. Now the Snowwind mech can get a good first strike. Does not have to be worried about being in the CO zone. Does get additional firepower, only for energy if you want that to be the case. Goes to the capture there instead. Forward deploys a mech. This can be scouted out. I wonder if Forsyth will scout it. It get trapped on it. Now we've got a battle copter. No anti-air in order to counteract it. She does see it, however, so she does have enough for a Duster. Probably should go for a battle copter or anti-air this turn. Duster. Continue the capturing. Honestly, continuing capturing is probably a bad idea. It's probably would have been better to take a shot against the tank rather than try to go for a capture. Because the capture will not complete. 17 capture progress remaining. Wait. How's the 17 capture progress remaining? Wait. I thought the 7 health mech there captured. Shouldn't it be 3 capture progress? I might be a little bit confused about that. Just want to capture the comm tower. Wait. Counts up? Hasn't always been captured. Of course, in the how I have everything set up, it's a little bit cut off, but that says 18 now. Has it always counted up? I thought it was always counted down. Am I crazy? Advanced modes by web is count down. I thought Hiding Wars was also count down. Maybe I'm just going crazy. There's a shot there on that unit there. Hit 1,000 for 35,000. She is pretty far behind. Could seal the Duster. Goes for anti-tank. 4 deploys infantry there. Oh wait, there's the CO unit. Oh, there's also another pair of comm towers here. This map has 3 comm towers, or 6 comm towers in total. It's also the map is either you have smooth sailing for your units or fighting a lot of rough terrain through wastelands and forests. So there's hardly any planes on this map for some odd reason. Snow one's at 33 power charge, hits the tank or battlecopter there. Use countdown, yes. Got it. I suppose counting up is still perfectly fine. After all, at least once you realize it, it's perfectly legible. Oh, takes up the recon there. Oh, that's a bad spot for anti-tank. The artillery is in range of the anti-tank. Got another artillery and anti-air. There goes a Duster. I think Snow has been too aggressive this game and just taking so many free losses. Tank. Just tank and commits a base skip. Keeps 5,000 monies in the bank. And got the rockets. Is she going to seal the rocket? This infantry there does spot the artillery. Got anti-airs in range of the battlecopters. It's the artillery there, so got it coming before health anti-air and a full health anti-air. We have a T-comp down over here. This area has not been captured up, so she can start capturing the comm towers. So both players have one. Nope, blue has 2 comm towers at the moment. Does not seal the rocket. Tank and infantry gets trapped. This anti-tank for a nice bit of damage. Bike artillery. Infantry, Duster. She may be sealing Duster next turn. Oh, double trap there. One of the other comm tower down south. Why did Snowman not capture this comm tower first? After all, comm towers still provide income. Yeah, that was a bad capture order. Should have gone for the comm tower, not for the city. Rocket's good shot there in the infantry unit there. Duster strikes Duster. No CO zone unit on that Duster. Mech bike. And forces 3 COs a tank there. And it will effectively cover half of the map. Rocket anti-air. This comm tower has now been captured by Snowwind. Snow. Capture this first. Could have got that kill with the comm. Yeah, probably not. It's a common mistake of not capturing the comm tower first and capture the end of the turn. Goes for war tank and recon. It's the artillery there. Duster. Rocket hits a rocket, artillery hits tank, and anti-tank hits tank. Hits the artillery twice. COs the war tank, so maybe forward deploy a mech. Infantry. Hits the rocket. Rocket goes down. Of course, does spot the CO'd war tank now. Good shots there. War tank does hit rocket tank there. Does get trapped there a little bit. Duster, bike, and forward deploys an infantry unit there. Rocket does strike the war tank there, getting about 11 points of damage. Duster does get shot down. Do have an anti-air not in range just yet, thanks to the rough terrain. Now have a bomber and mech deployed on the field. Has managed to pair drop in a infantry onto that comm tower. Lots of picks there. Snowwind has largely stabilized the game after taking quite a bit of losses there. Does take on the rockets, hit the anti-tank. And the anti-tank and rocket are both in range of the war tank. However, they do still need a spotter since it's on top of a woods. But we'll be able to pick off the tank no problem. Infantry, however, is within their minimum ranges. Bomber is advancing. Takes the T-copter there. Bomber is not in vision range at the moment, just one tile away. Duster does provide some good coverage. This Duster looks like will be in range of the bomber if there is a clear path for the sortie. Just need to pick up the spike or that rocket. Catch the city rather than the comm tower. Probably should have gone for the comm tower. War tank takes out the tank. Duster does finish off Duster. So does not spot the bomber, which is going to hit the war tank pretty hard this turn. May want a CO unit. No, does not CO unit to boost the bomber. Lost it there. War tank down to 1 health. Oh, there's a city underneath that war tank as well, so it got up to by 3 points health rather than just 2 points, or 1 point from their CO zone. The bomber did take a nice hit there. There are double shores here, so this is traversable land. Bike, and battlecopter. Does hit the artillery there. War tank. Does take out the T-copter. We've got a Ace Duster. Hits the rocket. Knocks the rocket. Got multiple war tanks in the field. Right now, force of 15,000, income is 21,000. Not to mention, got a, what, 4 comm towers versus 1 comm tower, so that is quite massive. Every single one of these units have at least plus 20 plus 20 versus plus 5 plus 5. Of course, got some very stealthy war tanks. Force if saves is 14,000 monies. A great turnaround by Snowwind. I thought she was going to lose the game with all those early losses. Maybe it was a large enough distraction, but it didn't seem like it was paying off all too well, honestly. And Forsyth's not spending any money. I think he's just going AFK, effectively, with just microing units. Okay, Snowwind resigns. Okay, I guess she just wanted the game to end. Oh well, either way, this Angrade saying thank you for watching and on to the next replay. Could have been a custom game and just 2 friends, not sure. I mean, if it's not ranked, it doesn't really matter who resigns at that point. Let's see. Yep, it was custom, so not a ladder, so it doesn't change rankings. Either way, and this is from my last replay. Since the replay list is a little bit small, let me know if there's any replay number you want me to cast, because my brief glance is not too many super high-end replays of where I try to go for at least 20 turns nowadays. Either way, let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Age of Empires, Advanced Wars, Daisy Ruin, Tiny Wars replay. It's on bottom left side as a red Isabella got Lutherus. By boosting that name well enough, spawn on top right side as the blue Will. We got Phil _ McCracken. Definitely Kraken, not Kraken. Gotta get that pronunciation right. Either way, when it comes to COs, we got. Wait, this is the Unchanged Isabella. So we got Cartridge Isabella, that's standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 20 in our CO zone. All for superpower get plus 2 movement and plus 2 maximum indirect range. Will, of course, is also the or don't think has been changed to Cartridge counterpart. Standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 10. Ground units get additional plus 20% offense. Not sure how well this game will go. With the replays a little bit slim pickings, I just sort of just look at replay length and hopefully they're good. Well, both players are going straight for infantry and not doing some weird save ups, so. And this map is actually quite large. It is 3 bases. See the 3rd base actually a bit far off the beaten path. This map also offers rivers and mountains, so this area is very restricted, so your ground vehicles had to go up and around this way. And of course you got these units here, so it's like a strong side, weak side, but the weak side and strong side are actually significantly far away with this sort of pathing. The weak side does go towards the HQ, your strong side can at least supplement with infantry with actually a pretty close distance. So I'm not sure how this will go. Additionally, the airport is traversable by land. You got some shores here. And again, you don't have access to a transport that's either air or sea until you get either of these buildings captured. Now think about it as well, this seaport here can deploy battleships to hit the strong side safely from sea. Granted, you do have complete vision of the map. It's not Fog of War. Fog of War would be pretty nasty with that sort of layout. But still, you can send your ships up over here. There's also a hard point here for battleships with a rate for 2 defense stars. Double rig? Oh, looks like trying to rig the game. Though there is a handful of these rough seas. Rough seas do slow down naval movement, you can see here. So, that will slow down the advancement of a Russian battleship. That's probably why there's a whole bunch of rough seas there. That's an interesting placement of a rig. Is he trying to go for temporary airport there? I mean, he's going to pick up infantry. Might as well put it right there. Anti-tank and commits a base skip. Right now, Will does 22,000. Could go for a bomber this turn. Medium tank, regular tank, and bike. Actually, the rig is pushing forward ungarrisoned, so I'm not sure what he's planning with the rig. Mech, of course, fly by onto the city. Tank can, of course, get a shot onto it. Won't be great, though. Decide to just go for a relatively safe shot against an infantry unit. Battlecopter, rig, and infantry. Rocket, infantry. I think Will's going a little bit too heavy in directs. This map is quite wide open, so tanks should have easy traversement. Though there are, of course, some speed bumps here with wastelands, which also does affect the various indirects while at it. And Will is lacking some sort of anti-air to deal with that battlecopter that's now ruffling its way forward. Medium tank, infantry. Got an anti-air there to help counter the battlecopter. See an anti-air here, he could simply just send the battlecopter more just southwards. I wonder, I'm assuming Mist on Sea does not provide, does not provide defense bonuses to air units. Does provide defense bonus to ground units, if they somehow find themselves at sea. Rocket, battlecopter, infantry, and infantry. Does get a good shot there on that medium tank. Battlecopter. Anti-air, infantry, and infantry. This infantry unit is in range of this anti-tank. The medium tank does pull back with an anti-tank, which is important there. And got a decent amount of indirects moving forward with a decent amount of infantry support. It looks like Isabel's making some great, or Will's making some great grounds in the center of the map. And serve 130,000. Isabel starts to turn 99, so she's pretty far behind, about 2 turns behind. Does pick off an infantry unit there. Neither player's actually deployed a CO unit just yet. Maybe they're playing with CO units off. That'll explain why there's or CO powers off. That'll explain why Isabella doesn't have the stock, the cartridge Isabella, not the whatchamacallit, balanced one, which is more akin to Jake. No, seriously, I think if the Tiny Wars balanced ladder Isabella is very similar to Jake of all of COs. Probably the most forgettable CO in all Advanced Wars. Missile rig and artillery. Rockets here, but that area is not traversable. Was that a mistake sending this rocket there? Because that's not traversable by land units. Does save the HQ. And looks like Isabella does go for bomber this turn. Does hit the bike with that rocket, so it's not a horrible position, just not a great one. Got some good picks there. Need things staying out of range of all the indirects. Battlecopter, anti-air, and infantry. Does hit the infantry up north. Got a pair of anti-airs and artillery over here still. Of course, the medium tank still can zone out a lot of stuff in this region. Keep the artillery in the flank, not pushing forward, just trying to keep it safe, trying to rotate down south. Rocket, somehow these rockets are getting hits and kills. Well, feeding off a bike or two to slow down 2 rockets, not a bad idea. After all, that's locking away about 30,000 funds hitting a bike on top of a city. So they're very, very delayed. Does take out the battlecopter there with the anti-tank. Good picks there. Will is lacking anti-air in this region. He has a missile pushing forward. At this point, probably need to go for a duster. Got a rocket. Bike. Isabella has sealed a rocket, so there's not some sort of no CO game. Sure, Isabella has very good CO power, but she has not been deployed on the field, nor has Will been deployed on the field. Just a war tank. And a lot of these units up here are just remaining idle, so Will just wants defensive rockets up here. I disagree with that. The only thing he's defending against is from his own infantry units. After all, there's nothing in this region. The rockets will take forever to go around this. The rockets should not have been pushed over here to begin with, honestly. They do not range enough to protect. And not to mention all the aggression over here. These rockets are just dead weight at the moment. And which does give Isabel quite a bit of fighting chance. Oh, got a battleship by Will. Isabel, of course, has gone for 2 bombers now. Infantry. Will top defense rockets. Yep. Good picks there by Isabella. Yep, 30k locking, doing nothing. So if you just take that, he's effectively 111 versus 169. So Isabella's starting to get some good ground this game. Her deployment is too heavy in indirects, I would say. She would stand to get do quite a bit better if she had regular tanks. I think both sides got a little bit too heavy in indirects. Missiles got struck here. And honestly, going for mean things are fine. I think war tanks may be a little bit too slow seeing how large this map is. Battleship, however, can sail into this bay and get some good work done, but may need some covering. Actually, the missile help cover this bay wouldn't be half bad for the battleships, actually. But those are the battleships are heading up north, which the bomber is also going to lock down that same area. Ugh. This bomb is being way too effective for not good reasons. Yeah, the bomber, I say these battleships, they can actually make the way down here, take forever to get there. Oops, I zoomed in. And the missile can actually provide some coverage, protect the battleships or help resist against bombers and battlecopters. And also an aircraft carrier wouldn't be half bad down in this bay as well. I have no idea. And looks like he has, and as well it takes time to just go and bomb the anti on top of the base. Not a terrible idea. It's a maxed out veteran bomber. It's getting a little bit low in ammo. It's going to be a 4 health anti, it's probably have to sack itself onto the bomber. I think Willowsword just threw away the game because he had a pretty strong advantage, but now he doesn't. He's actually pretty far behind. And Isabel can start taking these spikes heading over here. Another anti-air. Yep, I would say a good time for this bomb to fall back. For deploying a rig for a temporary airport up here wouldn't be half bad for a maxed out veteran bomber. Or at least just simply heading down south and flanking this area wouldn't be half bad. Strikes the missile. Yeah, guess he could have CO'd that 4 health anti-air to get one somewhat powerful shot into it. I'm not sure. And not to mention right now, these battleships are stuck in the back sea, locking down 50,000 after those 2 rockets that locked down 30,000. And we're, of course, have to deal with bombers. When there's bombers in the field, you probably should avoid going for battleships. Going for a cruise is actually quite understandable right here to help to protect the future battleship that may sail up behind it. Rocket? No, you need anti-bombers. 1 anti-air, or 2 anti-airs, so the anti-air that took the wrong direction is not going to cut it versus triple bombers. Oh, very nice. We've got a aircraft carrier. Produce a seaplane. Now, I don't say don't produce a seaplane. Get the aircraft carrier into the bay so you can start resupplying, launching units. You can always build aircraft seaplanes later here. Get the aircraft carrier moving. Let's see, how many rigs does Isabel still have? Doesn't look like she has any left, so she needs to get some rigs up here to get the resupply the seaplanes. If Will's just, or Isabel's going to start pushing forward. Did Will build nothing? That turn felt like he did nothing. Another seaplane. Probably could have launched the battlecopter. Battlecopters are full health. Possibly. But like I said, the aircraft carrier could just sail up here, and then it'll provide a pretty good staging point. Is Will's at 24,000? Will's at 131. He has gone for defensive rocks to protect the HQ. Again, he built nothing. Has he pretty much resigned? He is trying to capture the HQ, but of course it's in range of a pair of rockets, so it's going to be hard to do an HQ capture. That's the nice part about these mountain rivers. But we got a bomber here. Needs anti-air and/or missiles. A double missiles will provide enough interlocked field of fires. Does go for double missile there. Leaving 20,000, 7,000 in the bank now, and HQ capture. Oh, either way, this and great saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. The game went very well until Will made some critically bad mistakes. Either way, let's see, no new replays, and that's the last of the like plus 20 turn replays I have available to me. So that's probably gonna be it for me tonight. My apologies. Hopefully by time next Tuesday comes rolling around, there will be enough games for me to peruse right now, because since the server restoration, there's been a whole lot of no replays for me to grab. Either way, this is Angrade saying thank you for watching.